to try and punish the weaknesses that the T1 comp didn't prove to be enough, but overall, I'll still take it. I think it's a very marked improvement of what this team has been doing, especially in Week 1, even at the beginning of Week 2 for the LCK. As they pointed out themselves, losing to Sandbox just boomed them, and boomed them it did. And we're slowly now starting to see them recover as T1 this time around. Going to ban the casting away, and I actually love that. I think T1, barring, I guess, the Zeri, are so confident in their ability to find a bot lane that works that they are shying away from what we have seen a lot in terms of banning away consistently the AD carries. And Hanwha, you gotta ban Lucian here because otherwise you're not gonna have a good time. Yeah, it's a tough one, right? I personally, okay, it's gonna be the Elise. Well,
it's fine. I was cheating. I was reading his lips.
Yeah,
Nami.
Well, bring out the Lucian Yuumi, Viper in Life. Let's do it.
Yeah.
It's not even that good. Like the Nami, then you play into Nami Draven and you just get
And then you just lose
completely run up. Yeah, especially because it's Guma, right? So if this is another team, oh, they're gonna do it anyway.
They're gonna do it.
No.
Oh no!
Oh no! This is gonna backfire. I was just joking. I was kidding. No.
Chronicler, why did you do this? I blame Chronicler.
As the Wukong pick up, we're gonna come through here. Wukong did quite a decent matchup in Sejuani. I've seen that the early damage that he's, or the damage that he's able to do, yeah, this is not surprising at all. As lock in Draven Sejuani. Look, Oner's face, he's like...
How about Draven 5?
Oh, yeah, that's better.
I like it. And I didn't even read the lips on this one.
No, makes sense. We've seen the Vi be picked very often into the Wukong. And now, for T1, you gotta lock in this Draven, because it is both a classic Gumayusi pick. It is also what I think works very well together with the Nami. Draven can use the movement speed very well, uses the extra damage that she provides, and I know I called this, but I didn't want it to actually happen, Veldes.
Here it is, Lucian Yuumi, brought to you by Chronicler, and also by HLE Esports, who I think they're trying to reach a little bit deep into the bag of tricks. We knew this was a possibility. We hadn't seen it yet here in the LCK, and they're going to be the first ones to give it a go. A lot of people have discussed this, as a way to potentially break free of this meta, but Lucian Yuumi can have some early laning issues, and Draven Nami should have some early lane dominance, so especially with the way the bot lane of T1 has been looking, wouldn't be surprised to see a lot of prio there for T1.
Do you think that the post-6 lane is very threatening, and a misstep from Gumayusi and Keria could mean really big trouble? The problem is that it's T1's bot lane, and they haven't lost to anyone effectively all split, so actually seeing that happen to me is hard, and I won't see it until I believe it. I do like the creativity from Hanwha, and I am happy to see this team really try and continues to look for different angles. And into any other team, I would be pretty excited, but specifically into T1, like, we know that Gumayusi loves playing Draven. It was his debut pick. He's already played it this split in the LCK. And, well, if you want to kill Draven, and you have one of the best Akali players in the world, it's not a bad shout.
I really like the Silas ban as well. I think that it's really good to show some respect to that pick. Not just the fact that it's Zeka, but just the number it could do to your comp. There were so many good ultimates to steal already, especially the Vi ultimate. That really could have done a number to Draven as well.
I was waiting for Galio Camille.
How about the Renekton mid? I don't know about that with Vi in the jungle. But yeah, Renekton is going to be chosen as a blind pick to the top lane here, almost definitely.
And then for Faker, the Galio to me still makes sense here. I think that the pick is quite strong. Obviously, it goes without saying that Faker is very adept at piloting it. This is a counter to both the Wukong that we have seen in the past many a time, and then the Akali as well. And this is, in my opinion, still, even though he got finals MVP on HLE. One of Kingan's best champions. I actually really rate his Ornn. And I would love for Humble Life to just go in the direction here, because we saw in the previous game that when it comes to the late game team fighting, this team knows what they're doing. And the Ornn is going to give you that. Is a fairly decent matchup in the Renekton. Obviously, you're not going to be able to fight for Prio, but Grasp Ornn still should be completely okay here. And your mid to late game team fighting looking quite strong here for Hanwha. But getting there is a big problem.
Yeah. Can they get there? I think they're taking a big risk, especially against such a lane-dominant team that T1 is. But as you mentioned, if they can get there, I really love the Ornn addition to what they already have, because before that, it's kind of like, okay, you got to rely on the Wukong. Other than that, you're kind of just running at them, and the Taliyah can deal with that very nicely. But with the long-range hard engage from the Ornn, you definitely add a new layer that will be difficult for T1 to deal with. Can they get this?
Well, that's the question. Last time we said the game was over 3 minutes into the laning phase. It wasn't, Jeez. But it felt like it did. You read that, well, I'll talk a little bit more about.
Yeah, you know,
that's the first word I can read that.
A lot of it is. I think it was just a book about Keria.
Nice.
Which I respect. I never really seen much like that, but I like that. That's cool. I can respect that.
A lot of effort being put into all these fan signs.
That's cool too.
Look at the Rammus.
That just
so
had
derpy.
Zeka's name, his real Korean name, just repeated over and over in red markers behind his ID. Very cool.
As overall, think that the early game pressure that this T1 composition should be able to put out, as well as the power of the Taliyah, could be a big problem for Hanwha. But if they get to the late game, a lot of power there.
Absolutely. Well, here we go, guys. We are jumping on the rift for game number 2. Let's see what happens. Oh. Okay, well, we're starting off with a pause.
Oh, Viper. I see you and I respect your PTA Lucian. Haven't seen that one in a while. It's been exclusively the...
With Barrier.
Yeah. Oh, they're ready to... I didn't actually get the chance to watch what Life's runes were, but we've seen Callum do this, for example. Go for the tank item Yuumi and they'll go for shield bash and...
Blitz clients as an issue. And now he's unplugging his mouse. Well, maybe not his mouse. He's using a wireless mouse.
You can have like the
maybe
little,
it was the little USB.
The little dongle.
Maybe.
That could be it. If it's just a client crash, then we should be getting back in shortly. This is a little scary.
All right, so you get the anime references. Is that...
I don't know.
What is that?
Don't recognize it. Maybe it's a manhwa.
Maybe.
Not sure.
It kind of looks like...
read a fair amount of webtoons.
Is it L from Death Note? The guy who like sits on the chair?
Could be, yeah.
Kind of looks like...
Yeah, like right behind light. Yeah, could be.
Yeah, that's about as far as my anime knowledge goes.
Death Note? That's the only one?
That's pretty much it.
On it, even with my relentless campaigning, I still haven't gotten you to watch.
No, it's not going to happen.
Anything else I was going to say, but okay. I see where I stand. Very unfortunate.
You already know.
It's such a good opportunity as well, because Gumayusi is literally throwing chainsaws.
I don't think those are chainsaws. I think those are axes.
Isn't on this skin, isn't he throwing chainsaws?
Maybe. I'd have to
Talking
get
about the
look at
specific skin.
Maybe, yeah. I think there is one that is chainsaw. We should get a look at the runes here in... Yeah, those are chainsaws. Okay, I stand corrected.
How dare you not trust me, Valdez?
You very rarely see that skin in Pro. I can't remember the last time I've seen a Pro
Guma played it last time as well, because
really?
then I was casting it with Atlas and I told him to watch Chainsaw Man. And he didn't listen to me either, so very unfortunate.
Wow.
Yeah.
I've just blocked out Chainsaw Man so harshly that I didn't even notice that the Drafen was a chainsaw skin. Weird.
Yeah.
There are the runes, by the way.
Weird how that works, as we do see the standard Yuumi setup here for life, so not gonna take a book out of Kalin's page. Also note Guma going for Doran's Blade here, so if you're fighting to the death, that's the item you go for. And as expected, Viper and Life are gonna take it very easy going, and yeah, gonna get hit and not have the best of times.
Empowered Draven autos.
They're a bad time.
Yeah, it's definitely an issue, and you can't really step up to this. And here we go. 1, 2. Viper just going to be zoned off the wave. And yeah, I mean, this is part of the reason why a lot of people were saying, well, you know, you could try Lucian Yuumi, but they do get dominated very early on. And of course, they're into a very oppressive lane, so that makes that even worse.
I don't know if they were actually able to see this. Okay, never mind. We'll get spotted on the ward as... Wow.
3,184 days since CJB, Emperor,
Blaze.
yeah, Emperor and Lust Boy.
Wow.
One
versus Imp and Mata. That is insane.
Imp and Mata.
CJ Blaze.
In the playoffs. They brought it out in the playoffs.
So they were still sister teams.
Yeah. 2014.
Oh my god.
Okay, nice trade here from Viper. I almost said Viper and Lehens. Wow, this is...
It's a 2020. We're just doing throwbacks.
Where is my brain? Where am I? I don't know.
As we mentioned...
I was sitting in the seat when we were casting that team as well. Same seat.
Oh, Viper and Lehens.
Yeah.
Yeah. I wasn't. I was at home.
You were watching in the same seat?
I was watching... Well, no, because I'm here. I can't be watching in the same seat.
Well,
yeah. I'm also not watching that. Well, I am, but not mainly. As the PTA from Oner, another example of a more aggressive rune choice early on to try and fight for the early skirmishes, try and get the little bit of extra damage that the rune provides, meaning that you can go into those aggressive plays with even more confidence. And they need to, because fortunately for T1, as expected, they are building up some pretty sizable CS leads already, as nice ward there from the Renekton. Viper will sidestep that one. Very good, otherwise they might have been in some deep trouble, but because if they don't, and you go into a Wukong, Yuumi, and Ornn composition on even footing, it's not going to be a good time. So find as many laning leads as you can, pick up some early Drakes, although one of your favorite Drakes already on the map here already, unfortunately.
Yeah, the Hex Tech here. We have been having a lot of high-impact souls. We did have T1 picking up the 4 Cloud Drake, Cloud Soul.
That was very fun. Yeah, I really enjoyed that.
Yeah. As a lot of deep warding here from the side of T1. Zeus just looking to get the Demolish proc. Very nice. But yeah, they're able to spot Clid. Also, Faker gets a ward onto the Raptors. But he missed the CS.
Unbelievable.
That's okay.
Is it? No.
At least it wasn't a cannon. This is very early. What did he skill into?
Yeah, big fan. Pick up that early Dragon on the back of Viper and Life. Will be sitting on a Noon Quiver right now. Clid is making his way over, but sees a bunch of people and decides to battle of it. And that's the early Drake. Cloud now on, and that means that a lot of the souls that you might be looking at, you're going to be feeling pretty good about here, Valdez.
Chemtech?
Not that one. Any other one.
I mean, he's one of the souls.
Yeah, Ocean is also a little bit subpar, so maybe just a 50-50. He had a mountain.
A decent chunk of the available souls. Teams are definitely fighting a lot over the dragons nowadays. Just as long as it's not Chemtech. That's the one where they're just like, okay, well, we're just not gonna.
Yeah, it's fine. You can take.
Losing team never ever.
I don't really want that anyway.
Yeah.
You can have it.
It's actually worse. They're like, yeah, that just makes us feel bad. We'd rather not take it.
Can't be seen with Chemtech trade. Are you kidding me? That's not cool.
That's so out of vogue.
Oner just covering, making sure that his bot lane can keep, well, doing what they're doing to Viper and Life, which isn't very fun for those two. Guma currently sitting on still the Doran's Blade and also a Dirk, so Viper with his Noon Quiver not going to have the best of times. As the one benefit of this, of course, is that Viper will be able to hit his Mythic Spike a little earlier. Guildford's very strong, but it's also been a really long time that we've seen a Lucian without a Nami accompanying with Mandate. And that is, I think, a large part of what has made the Lucian feel so insanely oppressive. The one time was actually in Challengers this Monday where it was flexed to mid, which...
Whoa.
Yeah.
You're saying you can see crazy plays and crazy swaps and picks all the time, every week?
Every week, on Monday and Tuesday.
On Monday at 2 p.m. KST and on Tuesday at 5 p.m. KST?
You can, Valdez. Absolutely can. Whoa. You can see the future of the LCK. You can... Oh, hold up. Never mind.
What are we...
You can...
This is top lane.
Well, I don't know. Maybe they wanted to have some fun, but they don't.
Kingdom was trying to ask him, and then Zeus was like, do you really want to? And Kingdom was like, actually, never mind.
That's okay.
Yeah.
Zeus just going to clear the ward, but players like Pace, you could have known about before anyone else. You can be a cool hipster. That's your thing in League.
You could know about Hambach.
True.
Up-and-coming KT Challenger jungle.
Yeah.
Is your team's individual player not playing up to par? You could see his potential replacement.
It's all possible in the wondrous world of Challengers. As this game, not quite the same as the previous one. And for T1, as mentioned, I think that ideally they should be looking to find some substantial leads. But right now they're building those leads, right? They're up 700-800 gold. They got themselves the first dragon. If they can get a second dragon and a Rift Herald as well, they can start dropping some plates. And the main thing that they need to make sure, which is what Oner is definitely doing here, is ensuring that their bot lane keeps getting to play the game. Because currently Guma sitting on 220 stacks, and if he dies before he gets a kill, it's a disaster. You need that cash-in to really solidify that early to mid-game powerhouse that this T1 composition can be.
Yeah, both junglers loving the bottom side of the map. Lid has an angle here with this blast plant. But take a look at the T1 bottom lane. They say, okay, well, we're taking the Rift Herald, so do we really need to push our advantage right now? No, we can just back away. We pushed the lane. We didn't get those ranged minions. We didn't have to greed for them. We're going to get a win on the map, and that's okay.
So what they need to do, have decent vision on the top half of the map as well. So safe assumption that Clid will be looking towards that bot side. Guma on his back, picks himself up a ward, gets a Noon Quiver as well. And overall, looks like still the Homalife team is able to try and keep the wave here, which does mean that Clid in the future might be looking at a potential play, as I'm gonna assume that this is our observers showing us that maybe a play was missed, but I feel like Zeus has been pretty on point in those, so maybe I'm misreading what Jonas Strong is trying to tell us.
Yeah, I'm not sure. I mean, he got in with a couple of Demolish procs from what I could tell.
Maybe he was just showing us that Kingdom got the wave.
A plate was, in fact, collected. Maybe he wanted to show us that.
Nice.
Nice. As you said, this is very different from Game 1, where T1 won top and bot very quickly. T1, you know, they had a lane lead, but the wave wasn't in a great spot. They decided to back. Viper kind of froze it. And they have caught up in the bottom side.
Oner is really just continuously keeping his bot lane safe here.
Oh, over the wall goes Clid once again. A really nice maneuver. Oner is getting pretty low, but the CC chain is huge into Clid. He is not able to do much at all after that, but Zeka and Viper get over the wall where Oner tried to escape to, and that will be a trade of kills.
Bit disjointed there. If Clid is a second slower, then maybe Zeka is there immediately. And overall, kill on the Lucian, gonna be feeling very nice, but they do invest a lot of summoners here. Whereas Guma and Keria still sitting on theirs, barring the Ignite. For Oner, he gets a kill. Not the end of the world with him going down, but Guildford is now done for Viper, so that means that he is pretty decently ahead of his opponent, at least for the foreseeable future, as Clid here with the bait and switch able to make his way over, then gets back in with the ultimate, but then gets taken over quickly. See the whirling death as well, as Guma's like, oh, I can have the kill. It's for me.
I can have.
Yeah, it's for me, but it's not for him, unfortunately. As still, Drake gonna be taken here, and
all right, what's the soul gonna be?
I know soon. As no played.
No.
Wait, no.
No. Okay, he's fine. Ocean Soul.
It's okay.
Yeah, it's alright.
It's not great, but it's okay.
It's just a little bit fine. Zeus is all about just getting the knowledge procs. That's what he does in this lane. He's like, okay, I'm going to get a 20 CS lead because I'm Redectin, and then I'm going to get plate gold. It's not quite the Jace experience from last game, as no summoners for Viper. This could be the angle.
Oh, Clid. Clid's there, but Zeka's on his way as well. Faker doesn't have his ultimate available right now, but Oner
boy.
knows.
There's a question mark pinging mid. They don't know where Faker is. That might cause them to kind of back away.
Again, want to reiterate, T1 is really looking to get this cash in on Guma. 320 stacks at the moment, because if Oner doesn't shadow here continuously and they get dove and they lose all that amount of possible gold on the Draven, it's going to make your mid-game much weaker. Second Drake, as you mentioned, was picked up by T1 on the back of that bot side play. And now going to throw some more gold into the Draven here.
Yeah. Well, they failed at that because Guma decided, hey, I'm going to grab that axe, chainsaw, instead of grabbing the plate gold. So it went to Keria instead.
Guma's an honorable Draven. He just wants the cash in gold. That's the only gold that's real for him.
Yeah. He saw Keria carrying in game 1. He's like, well, I mean, probably carry on Ami too. I mean, who knows? Like, we just haven't seen it yet.
Do note Faker going for the Rod of Ages build. Personally, I've been a really big fan, and I do think that in this game as well, the Liandry's build into what is likely going to be the Ornn and the Wukong as champions that you're going to be hitting reliably. Especially with the Yuumi taken into account as well. I think the Rod of Ages will be lacking a little bit of damage. The upside of this is that if Zeka gets on top of you with Rod of Ages, your chances of not immediately folding are a little bit higher, as we have our answer. 2 plates going over towards the Renekton. Again, single-handedly, but is kind of expected in this matchup. Kingen is really just a sponge.
Yeah.
Really need to do anything else. And overall, game state is favorable for T1, but I'm really going to be looking at how does the first skirmish play out, because if they are able to isolate a target, like Viper, for example, take him down, get that shutdown.
Yeah, but the second that ward is scanned, he's like, okay, I'm leaving.
Yep.
And he has Gale Force as well, so I don't think he's going to be in any trouble, as, yes, that is one thing that Draven can also do to the Lucian.
So sad.
Just stop him in his tracks.
So anticlimactic.
Yeah. It's kind of Draven style.
Oh, Clid. Cheeky lane gank here. If they can kill Guma, that's so big, but can't walk up just yet.
Yeah. There is Gale Force available. No culling. Obviously, we did just see that, so bit of damage out of Viper's kids. Clid still here.
Zeus is on his way.
I was going to say, also,
stacks.
Zeus is here.
Oh, Guma has flash and heal as well.
Oh, man.
This is going to be a really big moment here, Valdez.
Did they just read this? Like, do they just know, or are they, like, looking to swap, or, like, what's going on here?
They must have a suspicion, because Viper and Life playing this aggressive, gotta be a bit of a giveaway.
They're really trying to bait them into the fight here.
Okay, yeah, there's no way. No, you're
They saw the run.
Well, not only that, but yeah, the T1's like, no. Not trusting this.
And now Faker is top. So Talia will be in the top lane for now. Decent little push for the bottom side, a little bit of pressure relief for Viper and Life.
Ooh, Guma not able to finish his Mythic just yet. As Mandate is indeed going to be a big spike. As Sage just walks up.
Uh-oh. Zeka in a little bit of trouble here. He's going to get 100-0 potentially. He cannot get out. He is going to flash, but still goes down as Oner just going to clap him on his way out. Very nice mechanical play from Oner, but Keria was the one who picked up the kill, funnily enough, and they are going to pick up the second Richter.
One of the reasons why trying to play Kali into champions like Vi, into champions like the Maokai as well, we've seen this be quite an issue. If you don't have point-and-click CC, Kali is monstrously slippery. But in situations like this, especially with Talia, as soon as you hit the ultimate, she's dead.
Yeah.
You're going to get 100-0. Not able to make it out here, unfortunately, as another Herald gets picked up. T1 is going to give this Drake, but with the soul as it is, I think trying to make sure that you get the outers a lot bigger. And all that this match is now just leading up to is can and when does Guma cash out?
Yeah, he's going to be waiting for quite a while, I think.
As do see Zeus hitting it nicely. All comes through again with the whirling death. And Oner able to get the last hit in nonetheless.
Do you think that Zeus used his stun in order to bait Zeka closer?
Yeah, I also think that's the reason why
he moved up.
Yeah.
And then got into gank range. It's really tricky because normally it's like, okay, well, Renekton goes in, he's maybe going to flash stun, set up the play, but rather he was like, okay, I'm giving him too much credit. Like maybe just the timing was off and he went in early. He's like, oh crap, well, okay, you guys can go now.
I'm firmly in the camp of, yeah, that was a setup play because the moment he walks back as King, and this is a big Ornn.
He is very far forward though. Can they burst down the Ornn right now is the question. That is a big Renekton as well. Gets in that back line as King is incredibly low, still alive though after all of this, and Zeus gets burst down pretty heavily by Viper. A massive knock-up here in the front onto Clip, but he will not go down as Faker nearly gets taken out himself. How are Life actually able to pick up the scraps of that fight?
Little worried that cost the Cursed King in there, but he pulls it together at the end, able to find a nice re-engage there. Crocodile does end up going down, and Hanwha Life already showcasing some of the team fighting power that they will have with this composition, right? The AoE CC between Yuumi, Kingen, or Ornn rather, and Wukong incredibly strong, creating a lot of space for both Zeka and Viper to pop off, but crucially, Guma didn't die, and yeah, King felt very beefy. This is
Yuumi on his back.
Yeah, nice cancel there on the bubble, obviously, but also means that he is susceptible to every other form of CC. PTA on him as well, so I really thought he was going to die here, but then barely stays alive. And then the re-engage, actually quite nicely done. Zeka gets the quick kill on top of the Renekton with the space that is bought by the rest of his team. And overall, Zeka might be in some trouble here.
A little bit of damage already as Zeus is waiting for it. And yeah, he's just going to walk it off. No point and click in range, at least, as Clid making his way up the rocks on the ground here. Again, going to be very annoying for many members on the side of Hanwha Life Esports.
I really do think that Hanwha Life are in a pretty good position in this game. Right there, Draven hasn't gotten a cash-in yet. They haven't completely lost control of the map. I'm sure the outer ring of turrets will fall soon. Obviously, top bot already gone. Wouldn't be surprised if mid follows relatively soon, but the problem for T1, especially with this collector, okay, Guma, because if they don't cash out big soon and get either a Baron or a very decisive team fight victory that they can turn into a lot of gold, especially with the itemization choices, I do think that T1 is going to run into some troubles in actually winning later game team fights. 520 stacks. That's going to be a nasty execute on his ultimate here.
Yeah, it definitely will be. He is just looking for as much of an execute as possible. His item choice as well. Stopwatch bought by Faker. I think he had that actually in his runes. Definitely a good choice into all of the dive on the side of Hanwha Life Esports. Sometimes your Unraveled Earth is not enough. You need just that little bit of extra defense. They go for the Seraph second, so probably Zhonya's third, but he might just hold on to the stopwatch for now and look for something like a Void Staff for some more damage.
I am worried with this itemization that at some point Kingen is not going to die anymore, right? say that the Void stuff comes through here for Faker. Say that Guma is able to opt into a Lord Dominik's anyway. If he does eventually cash out, then you'll be feeling a little bit better, but HLE's just trucking on. They really don't need to do more than they've done right now. That extra Drake buys them 5 more minutes as well, and even if it does go over, as we've talked about, Ocean not the biggest deal, so I would love to see T1 try and at least feint towards the Baron attempt here, because... oh, that's... there you go. Nice. Cool back animation.
Wait, how does the hedge laugh, though?
Because
I don't get that part.
Because it's Draven.
Yeah, but it's a hedge, which is made of, like, plants.
By the way, if you're unfamiliar, hedge is an actual word. This is not a this is not an emote. Just want to reiterate that for for our viewers, like badge or sedge.
Ah, yes, hedge.
Yeah, I just want to make sure.
All
hedge
right,
is a,
yeah,
because if you don't go to that side, like you might not know what hedges are.
Got to be careful with the
I'm sorry, I caught you off guard there.
Got to be careful with the zoomers nowadays. You never know.
Looking at me like, what is he talking about? My apologies, fellas.
I'm a little bit confused.
It's never my intention.
Well, we have an Ocean Drake here, and
King is backing.
He is backing.
Does it TP? Should be the Drake going over to T1, but the subsequent fight is going to be big.
Okay, they're actually going to commit to this one as the Unravel Earth is on the ground, and that will be stolen by Clid, who does pick that one up, and now Oner is in the pit alongside of Faker. They don't have a way to get out of here as Zeus is trying to zone for them, but the Ornn is just soaking so much damage, and the turn is massive from the side of HLE Esports. No collect for the side of Guma either. And Faker will be forced to flash out of this. HLE Esports find the angle. T1 commit heavily onto that Drake.
Really big moment there, and they don't even end up getting the Drake. Now, with the jungler and top laner dead, HLE might be heading towards the Baron. I do think that this is somewhat of a risk. Faker can do a lot of damage in these enclosed areas. Guma is also still full of... yeah, I think they should back off here. They already got a pretty big win here, I'd say. Get yourself a second Drake. King can start giving out the ornaments, and do see here that the initial setup from the fight already starting to be stronger and stronger here for Hanwha, right? Clid is the one who actually picks up the kill at 10:50, with Oner unable to get it, and then actually getting into the spit is a little hard because of the threat of the Talia, but at the same time, the rest of T1 is trying to get Zeus out, or trying to get Faker and Oner out rather, and then the attempted execute on Viper there with the Vials, with the Whirling Death. Not enough damage, unfortunately. And HLE still, just keep on trucking here. Upgrade given to Zeka.
608 stacks. It's got to cash out eventually, right? It's not just going to end the game 0-0-1. In a T1 loss or something, that would be devastating for Dravens around the world.
I don't know what's worse, is ending with too many stacks or dying before you can cash in on them. I'm not a Draven connoisseur.
Probably dying.
Really? But at least you're trying
yeah.
to get them. As Clid, a little bit of a
guess.
Well, I don't know. I was just asking for your opinion.
That was my opinion.
Okay. Well,
oh. Zeka, we saw in the picture-in-picture before, Zeka almost got on top of Faker and killed him, but Faker was able to push him away. Shove. So far he's been handling the Akali pretty well.
Hey, if Guma gets double the stacks and he hits Zeka at that point with an ultimate,
it's a kill.
It's a kill. I wonder what the biggest cash-in professional play has ever has been with Draven. Like, what's the peak?
For some reason in my mind, it's somewhere in the 1300s.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
I feel like I was like watching an LCK match or
Yumi.
time. Yeah, Yumi in a little bit of trouble. Faker, though, no flash. He does have his stopwatch, but no follow-up here. He is alone. Over this wall, you see Oner and Keria just kind of looking at him, trying their best, but they could not commit to that alone.
And HLE keep slowing down the game. Gold lead is still technically in favor of T1, but with the amount of ornaments that already are starting to come through now, not actually the case anymore, right? More and more value, and an Ornn with a... I know I said Ocean Soul isn't great, but Ornn with 4 Ocean Drake, Ocean Soul into... well, he's going to build Lord Doms now, but even with Faker's build as well, as mentioned, not going to be the best at shredding tanks. Zeus' Black Queen will help a little bit, but that is a beefy go. Throw a Yumi on top of it, and Zeka and Viper are going to run your team before you have the time to do anything, as Faker sees a Yuumi, but is unaware that the entire Goon squad is there to protect their cat. And even with the stopwatch, not a lot to be done there. Guma on the back, Zeus not wanting to expend his teleport, which I think was available because it was pretty obvious that the Talia was going to go down anyway. And crucially, Humble Life also don't get that much out of it. Don't pick up a Baron or don't pick up a big objective. But this next team fight, we keep waiting for it to really break one way or another. Hasn't just happened yet, Valdez.
Yeah, it's still a very close game. I mean, Humble Life Esports definitely putting themselves in a great spot to actually challenge T1 in this one. And you can see the total gold as well. Actually, Zeka and Viper up on top. There is the improved Gale Force.
I was gonna...
That's the name.
Okay, thank you. Improved Radiant Virtue.
I know the names in Korean now.
Nice.
That one is like the upgraded Blast Pack or something?
Oh, I think Gale Force upgrade is Typhoon. I know
Typhoon, yeah, because, yeah.
I don't know the...
You know what Typhoon is in Korean? It's Taepung. Sounds pretty similar, actually.
Typhoon, also the name of a great Dutch artist.
Oh,
yeah, cool. The more you know.
The more you know.
As overall, teleport going to come through. Very important fighting for T1.
Almost 700 stacks now for
looking for a break point.
Okay, there's the W down. King, though, is going to just charge away. And he's got a couple of Ocean Drakes, so he's got that. He's got the Yuumi. He's going to be at full health here in just a moment. He'll be totally fine to just go for a play if necessary.
Zeka, level 16.
Yeah, he's
rotating over. Yeah, T1, I don't know if you really want to try and fight for this. Might just run towards the Baron. This Drake, in the grand scheme of things, not going to be too important. His only soul point.
This feels a little bit slow for T1 to get on top of this one, especially with TPs available. Yeah, they're just going to have to pull off of it. So no risk taken. As I say that, they are looking to actually engage. King just throws them the thumbs up. He's like, yeah, cool story, bro. Like I care. As maybe the first Oner I've seen, and Zeus is totally out of position, gonna get dunked in mid lane. Just like that. Life Esports have an advantage in this game.
And they had been building towards one for quite a while. Oner items, of course, not showing up immediately as Kingen keeps handing him out the Divine Sunrise. I want to say it's Deicide from the top of my head. That was a really cool name that I do remember. As T1 just starts a Baron again.
There's a ward in that pick, guys.
Couple of ultimates being used. Teleport does get invested here. Maybe they want to peel off as a result.
It's an official T1 Baron. A lot of damage will come through, but here comes a massive knockup. The three of them just sitting against the wall. Oner will take the Baron down, but the rest of the team goes down, and no cash-in will come through for Guma. A triple kill for Viper, who is now 5-0 in this game.
And with that, I think we might be going towards a free gamer here, Valdez. Overall, the early game from T1 just not looking explosive enough. Humble Life biding our time, finding good individual plays. And now, T1 in deep trouble.
Yeah, the damage that's coming out of Viper right now is just insane. As the flash comes in, you see Zeus is desperate to try to take out the Lucian, and he will actually, but immediately he gets taken out, and Oner is trying desperately. He will take out the clone, but that's a double kill for Glid. At least a massive shutdown goes to Zeus, but massive is only relative to the lead and the control that Humble Life Esports have.
We also lose your final Baron buff, as King Emoting really sums up the situation here. It's like, are you gonna engage him, guys? Really, that's what you want to do? And T1 say no, we don't. Might not be the best of ideas, as these re-engages from King have been amazing, right? I've been loving how decisive he's been, and it makes me wonder, why don't we see more often? Because he looks amazing on it, and then this moment here, the flash free-man knockup, well, for the rest of his team then becomes easy pickings. Guma has to flash out there to not die to that, and then unfortunately is unable to cash in. Draven mains across the world, very, very sad. As here, yeah, the amount of burst that comes through from Zeus combined with Oner with the flash stun is nice, and they will at least delay, but you know, you lose your final Baron buff. You only delay what at this point feels like the inevitable, right? Humble Life in a pristine position. And I think we might be looking at a 6-game day, VODS.
Might happen here. All Life Esports have put themselves in a really nice position. Sorella just finished for Viper. You can see T1, they were in control, but it wasn't enough of a lead. It's something you talked about in the pick ban, because eventually the Oner items come online, the Akali gets a bunch of items, not really able to attack, or defend rather, that back line of T1. And the Taliyah pick is great. I actually think, you know, seeing Taliyah in this spot is always good, but we even saw in that replay, like, it has a very high skill cap where you really need to get the rocks down at the perfect position in order to stop the engage, and they need to be down before the engage comes through, because Kingdom was able to get in there so quickly that it was not able to stop it, and then the three of them got knocked off, and there's a lot of your disengage immediately taken away.
And it's got to be a Hail Mary play. That's what T1 is looking for here. Oner on a extremely deep flank angle. Pretty good vision, though, across the board here for Humble Life as they are looking towards a soul.
Hey, Jonas Strong hurt.
There you go. That ward. Oh.
I think Oner's just dead.
Yeah.
No, he's okay.
Well, Kali's coming.
Yeah, they're definitely chasing him down here a little bit.
But even with him not dying, right, the outcome is still bad. You're not able to get on top of Viper. And
Kingdom's still here. Guys, I think he's AFK. Can we check his keeper? He probably moves with the mouse, though. Zeus. Okay, nice little, yeah, it's Ornn.
Nice little what, VODS? Huh?
Nice little Ornn escape. Zeka's getting free plates, or not plates, free turrets in the top lane.
Seems to me like Humble Life have finally found their identity. Draft scaling, pick
Ornn.
Yeah, it's a throwback, but oh, this is how DRX was able to get a couple of wins last spring as well. That faith in Kingen on his Ornn. Well, all or nothing, T1.
Oh boy, look at that ward. T1 are so indexed into this. Here comes the engage. The stun, though, this time onto Kingen is good, and Zeka is being zoned away, but Zeus kind of just goes in alone. And, yeah, he's got Oner with him. That's going to be the free kill onto him as Zeka is getting low, but not low enough. Is going to take out the Draven. And now Keria is left to the Akali. Eventually,
look at
should
the
be able to
damage.
take down Faker.
Look at the damage that Faker isn't doing to this Ornn.
Yeah. It's also the return of the warrior, assassin, mage, warlock. That is Ornn, doing more to Faker than Faker could do to him.
But to be fair,
0-0-12.
T1 knew this was coming, right? Like with the build that they went for, you knew that eventually this Ornn was going to be an insurmountable GOAT. And Kingen and the gang now, Humble Life knocking on the base. I don't know if they get the Nexus here, but this game should be well and truly over, VODS, and we're going to a Game 3. Humble Life clearly showing signs of life. I'm sorry, I can't end that sentence any other way. I didn't want to, but
the unavoidable pun, the worst kind.
I didn't want to, but didn't know anywhere else to go.
Yeah.
It's the only inevitable outcome.
Found yourself stuck between the rock and the hard place. That is the LCK.
Watch, just look at Kingen. It's like Guma Keria.
I was looking at Viper just laugh at the
Renekton
engage of Renekton Vi. He's like, yeah, cool story, bros. I don't care.
Yeah, he does, and he does have 2 bodyguards and a Yumi, so doesn't really have to mind that at all. Oh no.
Here we go.
Come on.
No, no way, surely. He has no vision!
Oh, they won't. No, it's not happening.
Yeah, he's like, oh, well. Now I'm just gonna awkwardly back.
Hey, you gotta look for that play.
Unlucky.
That's the one line that might get you to win.
Yeah.
You gotta go for it.
Well. Humble Life Esports, you do have a very massive lead. A couple of open inhibitors that they could potentially push into. They did just take the Baron, so I would imagine they're just trying to line up these waves and look for the end here.
Yeah, no risk taking, no silly business. You are winning this game 99.9% of the time, so Just don't do anything silly. Get those 3 inhibitors and play it out from there. You should be completely fine. As Viper. Oh, man. Not the best of time here. Guma, I think he's back up to, you know, a reasonable amount of stacks, but it's not going to matter this game.
Yeah. We'll see if he can get a cash out before the game ends. Don't see it happening, though.
No.
This one. As you see, Zeka's just looking for the angle. He's just lurking with his trusty cat on a book on his back. As there is the Ornhorn engaged once again. This time will hit nothing. King really needs his flash to really pop off with that one. As Zeus last stand here. They do try to 100-0 Zeka, but he does have a stopwatch, which is enough. Maybe his done is at this point. HLE Esports gonna put an end to this game number 2. And we do have once again a 3rd game in a T1 series. HLE Esports showing that they can stand up to this team